What's going on, y'all? Sound here with another video. In this video, what I want to talk about is the beat making process. Basically, what I'm gonna go through is, sampling beats and original beats both, and the whole process of what it takes to make a beat. This is basically for people who are thinking about getting into beat making, or people who are just starting out, just to show you what really goes into beat making. This is something you really don't see too much of on the internet. First off, what I want to talk about is equipment, what you need to actually make a beat. You see a lot of equipment here. I got 2 keyboards, an MPC, a mixer, monitors, and a computer. You really don't need all this equipment. This is unnecessary in today's world to make beats, honestly. I actually have all this equipment because I started before the whole computer boom when it came to making beats. So this actually accumulated over time. I got used to it, and this is where we are today. And I actually just like walking into my room and seeing all these buttons and stuff that I can press. So it's just something I like seeing. I just like having a lot of equipment for some reason. I mean, even behind the camera where you can't see, I have turntables. I have a DJ setup because I started out as a DJ back in the day. So this whole wall that you see here, from this wall to that wall, is full of equipment. It's a full-fledged studio, basically. But yeah, you really don't need all this equipment. If you're looking into getting into beat making, what you really need is basically just a computer. Just get a computer and download any beat making software, and you can just start off with right there, and you can make beats just like that. I would suggest, if you're going to do it that way, get a computer and a MIDI controller, if you want to play keys and stuff, because if not, you're going to have to do everything with your mouse or the keyboard that comes with your computer. But yeah, a MIDI controller and a computer, and that's all you really need in a beat making program. There are things out there like MPC. Akai has made another MPC called the Renaissance, and there's other MPCs with the program, so you can have the hardware and the software integrated if you do want to go the way of hardware, and have things like this and build a bigger studio like this. You are going to need monitors, obviously, because you need to hear the music. So when you do your mix down, you can hear the bass and everything, and everything that you need to hear. So yeah, I would suggest getting monitors. Get powered monitors. I did have a pair of Behringer monitors, which were the type of monitors that need an amp, because they had the wires in the back and you had to plug it into an amp, the split wires, and that's not good for me, because when you're using an amp also has its own EQ on it, its equalizer. And when you get into mixing down your beats and stuff, you're not going to get the true sound out of it, because you're going to be getting the mix down from the program coming through your monitors. Plus, you're going to also have the equalizer of the amp coming through too. So you're going to have 2 different equalizers running through, and one of them isn't the true mix down, which is coming from the amp. So you're not going to get the true sound out of it. So it's better to get powered monitors, which runs straight into your inbox. Yeah, that's another thing you need too. I didn't talk about that, but there's an inbox up here. I have a, what is that? I got what is that? M-Audio. I got an M-Audio inbox up there. You need that to connect it to your computer, so you can plug your monitors into it and get the sound out of it. Also, you plug your mic into there too. You can also get a USB mic to plug right into your computer. I've seen people use those and they work pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much all you need on equipment. As far as making a beat though, one thing you want to understand is that when you're making a beat, it's not as easy as some people might tell you. Yeah, you can make a beat in 5 minutes. I've made beats in less than 5 minutes. It is easy to make a beat in 5 minutes, but what they don't tell you is the whole process of making that beat. First thing you got to start with, let's say you're making a sample beat, you're going to have to sit and search for samples. It might take you a whole day to make one beat. It might take you an hour to make the beat if you find a sample right away. Sometimes you're searching and searching for a sample that you like, and then now you got to take the sample, cut out the parts you want out of it. You know, you might want to loop it, you might want to chop it up and play around with it a little bit in the pieces. That's how I like to do it. I like to take my samples, take different parts out of it, chop it up, and make a whole nother melody out of the sample. But that can be a very, very time-consuming process. And I'm going to tell you, if you're going to get into beat making, it takes patience to do that. And a lot of people don't understand it who get into it. You know, they go out and buy a bunch of equipment, they'll buy a keyboard, get all this stuff because they don't understand what it really takes and what you really need. And then when they get all this stuff and they start making beats, they're like, oh man, then they're not really motivated because they don't want to sit there and go through that. So you do have to have patience. You have to be a very patient person to sit there and mess around with a bunch of sounds and sit there and look around on the internet or get records or CDs or however you choose to get your samples. It is a very time-consuming process. And another thing I would say is, if you're going to make beats, especially like that, don't have people sitting around you that are just sitting there listening to you make the beat, because they're going to get impatient, because they're not going to want to sit there and watch you go through this process to make that beat. You know, unless you're somebody who's just good at it, can find a sample right away and make a beat real quick, which that doesn't always happen. I'm not saying it never happens, but there are times when you're sitting there for a long time, because I've had people sit here with me while I'm making a beat and they're like, oh man, this is, you know, they don't want to sit through the process. And that's with sample beats. When it comes to original beats is a little bit of a different animal, because you're starting with nothing. You know, at least with the sample, you have a sound that's already made. You just have to take it, chop it up, and do whatever with it, and just make a beat around a sound that was already made. When it comes to original beats, you have to create the sound yourself. So that process in itself can also be either time-consuming or it can be quick. You know, it can be either one. I've made some beats which I just jumped up here and, you know, you get that feeling where you're just feeling it and you're in the groove and you just get on there, you just play something, you just start going right along with the flow and everything flows nice. But then there's other times where you're sitting there for a while and you can't really come up with anything. So that can be aggravating, and at the same time it can be rewarding, you know, and it could be a good feeling. But yeah, man, it takes a lot of patience to sit here and make beats. I'll show you this beat here. This is a sample beat I made not too long ago. I made it a couple days ago. And that beat right there didn't take me long to make, but it took me maybe, I want to say, between an hour and 2 hours to actually complete the whole process to make that beat. You know, it probably took me 10 minutes to actually make it, but searching for that sample took me a while, because I had to search through lots and lots of samples just to find what I was looking for to make that beat. Yeah, but that beat right there didn't take long to make. But another thing you want to remember too is that you could sit here for all this time and it doesn't mean that you're going to always come up with something that you like. You're not always going to make a hot track, you know, after spending all that time making a beat. That's one thing you want to remember too. And I'm not doing this to try to kill anybody's motivation to want to make beats. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful hobby. You know, if you want to do it just as a hobby, or if you want to try to get into a career doing it. But yeah, you just got to remember that, you know, there's going to be times when you sit here for hours trying to make something, and you sit here and surf through all these samples, go on the internet searching stuff, trying to find stuff, and you finally find something that sounds okay, and you think you're going to make something hot out of it, and then when you go mess around with it, it just doesn't come out the way you want it, and then you just end up scrapping it or start over on something else, and then you just can't really come up with anything. But just keep that in mind when you're coming to when you're thinking about getting into producing and making beats and doing this whole thing. But yeah, as far as equipment also, I mean, it's to go the hardware way like this is a lot more expensive than just doing it the software way, as far as just getting a computer and a MIDI controller and stuff. So yeah, just think about that too. You know, you want to stay within your budget and make sure you can get everything you need to make beats, and then possibly you want to get into making songs later on or recording other people's songs. Like me, I'm just getting into making my own songs now. Like I'm actually writing. If you see all this right here, these are rhymes that I'm writing right here. I got a whole book right here I'm writing. I'm actually working on an album. So that's why you haven't really seen much stuff coming out from me lately, because I've actually been working on stuff so I can put out some new material for you guys. But yeah, man, that's everything basically as far as when it comes to making beats and getting into doing this whole thing. You just want to remember those things. So yeah, that's all I got for today, man. And if there's any producers out there who are just starting out, or seasoned producers who are experienced and been doing it for a while, and y'all want to leave some of y'all insight in the comment section below, go ahead and do that so some of these new guys can see or can read some of your experiences. You know, if you want to leave some more things, maybe I left something out in this video, you can leave a comment below this and just, you know, leave some more, kick some knowledge for these guys out here that are trying to start out doing this. So yeah, man, I have many more videos coming out in the near future. I'm working on some new material now, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.
Word, you know, we work too hard not to have anything come back in return that's equal to the amount of work that we put into it. So what's the point in working hard just to have somebody else reap the benefits of what you do? Yo, let's go. Yo, life is something like a puzzle. Piece it together, yo, with the right cuts to formulate the right hustle. The right hustle with the right money, integrated with the right plan to formulate into a nice bubble. Most of us never plan for the future. Caught in the same situation, ain't nothing moving. Same job, same money, same debt. Playing them lotto tickets, ain't hit big yet. Getting your hopes up like you gon' be set. Pockets running on E and they ain't got nothing left. Too many of us can't see what's real. Working your life away but stay broke paying bills. Land of the free and home of the brave, or land of the overworked and way underpaid. 50,000 a year thinking we got it made. No more, this working 40 hours staying a slave. Yo, I'm good.